Hello, how are you guys all doing? The other week, I went to go visit my parents, and before I went there, made a little to-do list of things to do when I was back in my hometown, and by to-do list, I mean lists of food that I wanted to eat in restaurants that I wanted to go to, because food is life. I was home for about a week and a half, and I feasted on all of the amazing, delicious things that I love, and I do not regret a single bite. The only thing I do regret is that somewhere along the way, in one of the very first days, I ate something. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the composition of what I was eating. I don't know if it was just the fact that I ate a lot. I ended up really freaking bloated. I don't get bloated very often. Like, I eat a relatively clean diet. I think I have probably pretty good gut health if I'm not getting bloated very often. So this was just uncomfortable and unprecedented, and I was not very happy about it. I did not let it stop me from continuing to eat all the yummy, delicious things that I had planned, but it was just uncomfortable. And it kind of started to go away on its own by the time I got back here, but I was still feeling a little bit off, like in my gut, in my digestion. Coincidentally, I think a video just came up on my recommended on YouTube about apple cider vinegar and about bloating, and I was just like, well, that seems fortuitously timed. Maybe I should dabble in the apple cider vinegar. It can't hurt, right? Now, apple cider vinegar is basically fermented apple juice, but a lot of people claim it has a lot of different benefits. Now, let me be clear up front. A lot of these health benefits are not super scientifically well-founded. However, it's very hard to ignore the massive amount of people who claim to have experienced benefits while taking it. One of the biggest claims that people make is that it helps with weight loss because it reduces your hunger. And if you're less hungry, it's easier to eat in a calorie deficit, which makes it easier to lose fat. Let me just make this clear. If it is helping with weight loss, it's certainly not burning the fat for you. It's just making it easier to be in a calorie deficit. Similar to like intermittent fasting. That doesn't directly cause weight loss, but it makes it easier to be in a calorie deficit, which makes it easier to lose fat. And then the second biggest claim that I see people making all the time is that apple cider vinegar can help with bloating. And I've seen a lot of people swear by this. So I was like, we're doing it. It's worth it, even though I detest apple cider vinegar. Like, nah.
It smells like moldy feet.
It tastes like moldy feet that burn your throat as they go down. Like, it's... And then there are also claims that it can help regulate blood sugar levels. Now, there is some science to support this, but I definitely think we need a little bit more science to be able to say it conclusively. So I decided to give it a try because why not? So the rules that I set for myself was that I was gonna have 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar at least an hour or 2 before a meal. It didn't matter which meal, just kind of whenever I remembered to take it. And then I used the apple cider vinegar with the mother, which is super, super important. The mother is like the bacterial culture that ferments the sugar in the apple juice. And that's one of the main parts of ACV that people claim has all of these benefits. So if you're gonna experiment with apple cider vinegar, make sure you get the one with the mother. I use the Bragg's brand. I think that's the one that like literally everyone uses. I don't even know if there's another brand of apple cider vinegar that exists in the world. And I decided I would commit to this for at least a week and see how it was going. And if it was continuing to go well, maybe I'll try it for a month. But if not, might be stopping at the end of the week. Let's just dive into how this week went. Then we'll do a little breakdown of my experience.
Wow, maybe this will actually be a decently short video.
Except my hair looks ridiculous. This is my first apple cider vinegar drink in probably 2.5 years. So I just did 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, about yay much water, 8 ounces-ish, a little bit of honey, a little bit of cinnamon. It's not actually the worst thing in the world, but I really don't like it. So I had some digestive distress last night. Diarrhea. I had diarrhea. I'm not ashamed to talk about my poop with you guys. I don't know if it was from the apple cider vinegar, but like it kind of felt like it was from the apple cider vinegar, but at the same time, is this gonna sound really weird? It kind of felt like my body was trying to clean itself out. Like, it didn't feel like it was coming from a bad place. It felt like it was coming from a good place, which is just a really weird thing to say about any kind of poop. Yeah, that happened. Feeling totally fine today. I haven't had my apple cider vinegar yet. I'm about to go make a little drink to put it in. But this morning I also woke up looking significantly leaner. Like, I definitely feel less bloated. I also definitely ate a lot cleaner than I had been yesterday, so that could be it. But I don't know, man. This is either off to a really good start or a really bad start. The only way to know is to push forward and have some more apple cider vinegar. So I've been loving making this concoction lately. It's not even a concoction, it's 2 ingredients. I take some ginger, I stick it in some boiling water, and then I just let it cool down as it steeps for like, I don't know, an hour. I usually do the ginger before I get on a client call, and then once it's done, I stick it in the fridge, let it cool down, and then I add an entire can of lemon bubbly something, either LaCroix or Spindrift, or I think I just use Pellegrino, Perrier, whichever one has lemon in it, I don't know. Basically, lemon bubbly water with some ginger tea. And I've drank like half of it, so I'm just gonna add the apple cider vinegar to the rest of it. I feel like it's a little bit concentrated. Maybe I'll add a little bit more bubbly water if it's way too disgusting. There's no sweetener in here this time. Yesterday it wasn't horrible, but today without any honey. Ooh, I got some of the mother. You can see it swirling around in there. I hate this so much, ugh. I smelled it. I look like I'm about to cry. It's just disgusting. And the lemon helps, the sparkly helps, and the ginger definitely helps. It's not the worst thing ever. It's pretty close, but it's not the worst thing ever. Day 3, and I'm actually having my apple cider vinegar and a little bit of kombucha, and I'm having it at night this time. Yesterday and the day before I had it before I ate anything, I just totally forgot today, and it's about 2 or 3 hours before I'm gonna go to sleep. So I figured I needed to get it in now, because I don't think you're supposed to have it like right before you go to bed. Not gonna lie, drinking it with kombucha, so much better. Although to be fair, I only have 1 tablespoon in this instead of 2. So we're on day 7. Just threw 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar in with some kombucha, drank it through a straw. It burned going down as per usual, and I don't feel any different. Experienced some digestive disturbance after taking it, but I feel like my body has just adapted to it, and now it's not really doing anything. Although I will say the last few days at night, like within an hour of dinner, my like lower intestines get really grumbly. And I have no idea if it's what I'm eating or if it's because for the last few nights I've had my apple cider vinegar like an hour or 2 before eating dinner. So maybe it's just doing something in the digestive tract that's making the food just not sit as well in my intestines. I will say, I don't hate apple cider vinegar nearly as much as I did before I started this. I even started using like this much, like literally maybe a 1/4 teaspoon max in my salad dressings.
I don't know why, because I don't really enjoy it in my salad dressings.
Probably gonna stop doing it because I don't really like it. It makes it taste worse. Upon further reflection, it appears that the apple cider vinegar may actually be causing more digestive distress than it is helping to alleviate. Sorry, my fan is spinning above my head. I feel like that's very distracting. What I realized tonight is that for the last probably 5 days, I have been extremely gassy. Usually after dinner, like I just can't stop farting. Totally TMI, but like, that's the point of this video. And I didn't necessarily think it was tied to the apple cider vinegar before because it was just happening like after dinner, like an hour or 2 after eating, my belly would start to fill with air. But I had the apple cider vinegar earlier today and it started happening before dinner. So either it's just a coincidence or my intestines are not super happy with having apple cider vinegar in them. Like tonight, I am more bloated right now than I was a week ago, right when I got back from my parents before I started taking the apple cider vinegar. Like I can't sleep when it's like this. It's just highly uncomfortable and it's 1 AM. I would like to go to sleep. Look at this. This is not normal. I feel like I'm just like ready to like
explode.
This is more similar to how I look when I'm not bloated, except I still have I can't flex all the way because there's just so much going on in there and it's not happy.
And that was how my week went. Let's just start with the positives, get that out of the way before we go into everything else. The first thing that has absolutely nothing to do with the apple cider vinegar itself, but probably the biggest benefit that I did experience is that it helped me find motivation, which is like the weirdest thing that I was not expecting. I just think in the last few months I've been struggling with rebuilding like the healthy structure in my day. Like I've been doing healthy things, but I haven't had structure to it. Without structure, I just have a lot less motivation. And so building other things into my day that are really easy to do gives me motivation to do the things that are harder to do. Like it makes no sense. It's some weird psychological phenomenon, but in my brain I'm like, well, I started today with apple cider vinegar, so I might as well eat healthy the rest of the day because I already did something healthy, so I'm gonna stick to being healthy. Like I already choked down the fermented Flint liquid, I might as well eat my veggies. And I think I was generally like living a slightly healthier lifestyle this week because of the apple cider vinegar. The mind works in mysterious ways. And I did also notice that I'm pretty sure it did reduce my hunger a little bit. So I was trying to actively be in a deficit this week, and I think it did make it quite a bit easier for me. However, it could have been that the increased motivation was what made being in the deficit easier. If there was anything that made me less hungry about it, it was the fact that it did make me slightly nauseous every time I drank it. And I don't know if inducing nausea to reduce your appetite is a very healthy behavior. It's definitely possible there were other components in it that were helping suppress my appetite. It wasn't just the nausea, but I don't really know. I did finally see the scale go down a little bit this week, which if you guys have been following me along my weight loss journey, you'll know that that's kind of huge because my body has just not been responding. So maybe there was some secret magic going on, or maybe it was just my motivation was better, so I was sticking more to my deficit, and so I got better results. But do the positives outweigh the negatives? The negatives of basically pretty bad digestive distress for this whole week. Like, we started out with diarrhea, we ended with endless farting. That was not comfortable. It was like my gut bacteria just really loved the apple cider vinegar and was just like throwing a party and popping a lot of balloons and releasing all the gas from the balloons. That's a weird analogy. But I also have to say that because I was bloated before I started taking the apple cider vinegar, like I can't conclusively say that it was the ACV that was causing me to be particularly gaseous. Like maybe that's just something that's hanging around from whatever it is that I ate that made me bloated in the first place. While I can't say for sure if the apple cider vinegar reduced my bloating, what I'm pretty sure I can say is that I don't think it helped at all. Yesterday was day 7, and as you saw, I was very bloated at the end of the day. I literally had to wait to go to sleep because my gut was just like, we're not having a good time right now. These are not the results that I expected to get from this experiment, from the pain of ingesting
the moldy foot juice.
It can't hurt, right? And honestly, I am kind of offended. I wish the results had been flipped. I wish it had just helped with my bloating and not necessarily helped at all with weight loss. Like I would much rather have my digestion be really great right now and have my weight not have changed than to be like super bloated and having all the rumblies in my tummies all the time and have a lower weight. So even though obviously my overall experience with this was kind of on the negative side, I do think that 1 week is not really enough to make any substantial conclusions. So what I think I might do is I think I might take 2 to 3 days off and then reintroduce the apple cider vinegar and see if I end up with the same like gurgly tummy, can't stop farting effects. If I take it away and that goes away and then I add it back in and it comes back, then we know that apple cider vinegar is just doing something in my intestines that my intestines are not happy with. But there's only one way to find out, and that is with a clinical trial. Just kidding, I can't do a clinical trial on myself. So I think I might continue this experiment. Just for the sake of continuing this experiment, to see what happens, because now I'm curious. So I'm gonna go ahead and give that a try. If anything interesting happens, I'll update you either in the description or like pin a comment to the top, or if really interesting stuff happens, I'll just continue making a video about it. Who knows, maybe after taking apple cider vinegar for a month, I'll have dropped 10 pounds, gotten a lot stronger, healed all of my trauma, neuroses, deep sense of loneliness, overwhelming feelings of self-doubt, and fear of never being good enough. Apple cider vinegar can do that, right? On that note, I'll keep you guys updated with how it goes. I would also love to hear your guys' experience with apple cider vinegar, and also any fun recipes that you have for consuming apple cider vinegar that make it not taste like moldy feet. That would be great. If you have positive experiences with ACV, I would love to hear about them in the comments below to give me just a little bit of hope. See if it's actually going to, you know, change my life. I'd love to hear any stories you guys have to share about this miracle demon juice. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. It really does support me and my channel. I really appreciate it. Please share this video with your friends, your family, your neighbors. If you want to see more content from me, you can check it out over here. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to see future videos from me. Hit the little notification bell so you get notified when I post a video, and I will see you very soon. Bye.